Great.
Okay, the session is live now.
Mm-hmm.
Should I start the broadcast?
Just start.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. I'm Ankita from NASSCOM, and today I'm back with a very interesting topic about an Indian SaaS company's journey, challenges, and the success story. To share with us the story of a Made for India SaaS product company, we have Paramdeep Singh, CEO FieldAssist, who will tell us how to make a product of the right fitment for the Indian market that has the potential to not only drive growth of your startup, but also empower your customers. You can ask questions anytime during the session. Param will cater to them, most of them, after his presentation. Also, please do not forget to leave your feedback to help me improve my future webinars. Welcome, Param, and over to you. Param, you are on mute.
Hi. Yeah, sorry. Really glad to be at the NASSCOM platform. Thank you, Ankita, and thanks a lot for this opportunity. Hello, everyone. This is Param, and I'm really glad to see a lot of participants over here. Thank you so much for finding the time. And this is a topic which is quite close to our heart. This is like the components here are about the Made for India and the SaaS company, which is quite a hot topic right now in the fraternity. And we launched this topic, and I've been getting a lot of responses and a lot of queries and regarding this particular thing, especially from the entrepreneur community. And okay, let's talk about before I introduce to myself and the company. I just want to have one idea over here. See, we're talking about Made for India, right? And this is the brands which I just want you to take a kind of intelligent guess. What do you feel like? What is Made for India over here in these brands? I think it's a quick guess. In about 10 seconds, you'll be able to figure it out. Okay. We have brands in automobile and mobile. Okay. So to me, the Made for India concept is something which I will categorize into these kind of brands. We understand the psychology of the people in India, and if we compare, see Suzuki, it's been decades and still having more than 50% share in the India market. It is because we talk about some ethos of the mileage, the savings. And if we talk about Haldiram's, Haldiram's is something which is quite ethnic in nature, and it is valued at $3 billion recently, and with the fast food and with all the bhujia and the snacks coming up. So this is something which is quite appealable for when we say Made for India, keeping not just the cultural sensitivity in mind, but also about the user experience, and also about the packaging, affordability, availability, and all those things which matters. For example, I remember why I've taken the Nokia example. Interestingly, I remember in the college days, I bought a Nokia 1100. That was quite a popular model because, as students, we used to have a lot of activities, and there used to be a lot of things to throw it around in the hostel area and the rooms and all, sharing with the friends. It was a very, very rugged style of a model building, and I do remember the advertisement which used to come in front of the truck, the Nokia with its torchlight. That was an innovation done at that time. I think the torchlight, that was something, a huge hit. And about the Flipkart, we have seen the models around, but the real innovation which they did for was the cash on delivery. So this is our context, my context, if I talk about the made for India concept. Okay, there could be other versions of it. I do agree. But now, if we move forward, so what is, the made for India concept? It's not simply made in India. I think it's quite clear. It's not simply made in India. And since India is a unique market, and why do I say that? Because there has been a lot of research, and there have been a lot of people, the authors, the thought leaders, who have figured it out that though India is a billion-dollar market, it's a billion people. I still remember when President Clinton came in about 20 years back in India. He did not see just the population, the resource crunches, or the economic issues. He saw the billion mouths. That was a big statement, and that attracted a lot of Western world also, like about this particular interesting market in India. But the cracking it in the India, it was never about, just adopting some best practices which are available. No. And it is always about, as he said, Mr. C.K. Prahlad, he said it's all about the next practice in India. If you have to follow it up, we have to win in the India market. It is about this particular thing. And a lot of brands which I've shared with you earlier actually have been following that. So it could be the experience, of course, the product market fit comes into picture, the customer service comes into picture. So that's something which is really, really important to keep the mind or be in the shoes of the Indian consumer. We'll be talking a lot about in the context of now the second part of the topic, which is about the SaaS world. Okay, that's what we are going to come on to the next piece. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there is a background noise which is coming continuously.
Is it so? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry for that, but is it a bit annoying? Then I need to figure it out. Just start it somewhere.
I think let's carry on. Your voice is crystal clear, so it's fine.
Oh, I'll be more louder. Thank you.
Right.
Okay. So talking about this particular SaaS opportunity in India, these are the numbers which a recent very interesting report came out with the SaaS booming and NASSCOM. These are the recent numbers that these many Indian SaaS companies are there, and they are generating, 150 plus of them generating more than $1 million revenue. Another interesting fact here is that most of the companies here are doing the domestic business only up to the 25%. Okay, and majorly it's the outside India revenue. But this is the opportunity, which is about $8.7 billion SaaS opportunity in Indian startup. Okay, and that is something which is really, really huge and really attracts. And this is the thing which today a lot of people are talking about the SaaS opportunity in India because of this potential it has. Okay. Now moving on, but this also has a lot of value proposition because the kind of talent pool we have, that's very, very interesting that we have a large skill talent pool of 3+ million software developers. We have global role models are there, the technology, AI, ML, we are talking about a lot of stuff over here. We're talking about, there are big wigs in the industry like Zoho, Freshworks, Casemetrics, and all those big companies are there, which have proved that, India is the best market, in fact, to produce the global world-class products. And it's a test bed for innovation. We do agree upon this part. But there's something which really, when I've been talking to so many people, there's something which really comes out that, okay, what about, the Indian market? We really have high hopes, and but the expectation somewhere, I feel that's how they're choosing this topic, that India is somewhere, it's a good market, Okay, it's a good market to build SaaS products, but is it good enough? Like about the selling piece here, the various challenges which are there available in terms of sales or a customer acquisition cost, in terms of making the right value fitment, and it's a long sales cycle. And what about the adoption thing with the Indian SMB market? And is it something? So we'll figure it out. We'll understand. We're not an expert over here, but what has been our journey in the last 6 years of building FieldAssist as a product? I'll be sharing more of it. As compared, there could be many routes actually to reach or capture the market. We'll just go through our journey right now. Okay, and before I begin, I just want to tell you more about myself. From where am I coming? The thought process. I'm quite passionate, guy. Before in this avatar of founding of FieldAssist, I was actually into the manufacturing sector. So right from my college days, which was about the BTech in Vellore Institute of Technology, when I passed out in 2006, and that was the time Dr. Kalam came to our university and for the convocation of the final years, and then he talked about that India needs more entrepreneurs. India needs more of job creators than seekers. That was way back, 15, 16 years back. So he energized, and that's the plunge I took it up with the manufacturing sector, launching a food product, a food brand in India. And it was, of course, in a regional brand. And we just had a small team. It was a manufacturing plant taking care of logistics and the production, the quality, and the market. And I learned a lot about this, and very dynamic, very complex FMCG market, but very interesting. And it always feels that, okay, there's so much of volume in this market, but the cracking it is really a lot of grit and perseverance which it takes. Okay, now coming to the second shift, now it's in 2013 and 14, FieldAssist happened. The problem statement which was identified, because I was quite passionate for the manufacturing sector, for the FMCG sector, the problem statement which was identified that how the FMCG Indian SMBs or the large enterprises can benefit from the advent of technology. At that time, Android was taking a lot of presence in the market, and I remember the initial challenges. We have been on cloud since now it's been more than 8-9 years, but the initial challenge of making the people understand the word SaaS, it was itself is a humongous task. Okay, and everybody knows the other side of SaaS, but not the SaaS. So that is something with people saying, like, what is it about cloud? So it took a lot of legwork in the market to make people understand about this particular piece of technology, which is about SaaS products. And now this is what we truly believed in, that we need to solve the problem that FA by creating technology products, but which accelerate growth. It's not just about the growth, it's about accelerating growth. Okay, and just to give you a background, like FieldAssist, what kind of numbers we do. So FieldAssist is a bootstrap model. Okay, we totally believed into this since from the day one that it should have a unit positive economics. It should make sense, and we could identify that the product market fit is quite. Initial adopters made us really believe that our product market fit is really good. And as we are a profitable company. Okay, we clocked the ARR of $2 million last year. Our 95% of revenue comes from India, and about 350 plus brands are there which are trusting FieldAssist. Our retention rate is more than 88%. Okay, and I'm counting the overall last 6 years into the picture. Yearly growth is about 70 to 80%. So these are the numbers which I wanted to give, that okay, this has been achieved, and this has been done primarily from the Indian market by our team and with the association of the customers we have. A brief about the product portfolio. So this is about the FieldAssist application. So we basically help the FMCG and the consumer good companies, okay, to gain a larger market share. I'm talking about the general trade, which is your general trade is, how do we define, is your local market. A lot has been taught, a lot has been talked about this in the COVID area. Okay, they have really emerged as the saviors of India. Okay, in many ways. Now these are the customers of ours who actually go and place their products through their sales team, through the distributors. It's a typical supply chain model. And they use different tools like for the middle management, for the top management analytics, and for the salesman, the real guy who is the user. Okay, the sales guy. He goes in the market, he uses his application and does lot of work, stock taking, order booking, collections, and beat mapping. A lot of things he does, opening up of new outlets. So it's basically about the coverage which he does, and that's actually make a product win in the more visibility you have in the market, more shelf space you have, more coverage you have, more range of products which can be sold in the market by the sales team, by the distributor. That's what it tracks in the real time, and it talks about the data and gives a very good analytics at the top management to take some meaningful decisions. And it's a lot about the FMCG. You have one typical company, for example. I just talk about these leaders in the industry. They have huge range of products, 200, 300 SKUs and different markets. And if you understand that India is I would say it's like 30 countries inside India. Okay, the north, the south, the west, the east totally behaves in a different consumer manner. But to win over it, you need to have the local taste, local flavors. We talk in so many languages, and the preferences changes. But here, the problem statement, I'll be talking more about the product fitment part, that how did we solve it, and what they were looking forward to. Okay. So selling in India or making a product for India, there are different challenges. Now, one of the foremost challenges we came up, the India largely has been a service driven, ITS driven market. Mindset is that it's not a product mindset. That itself is quite a new thing for the customers, especially when you talk about the BFSI or you talk about automation. They are quite advanced in certain areas because there's a lot. In FMCG, it's a thin margin business, but it's very, very rooted in Indian ethos. And the distribution channel, you have crores and crores of retailers and lakhs of distributors. So there, to have this paradigm shift or mindset change, that there have been the legacy companies who have been talking about or who have been using the products in the sales supply chain automation a lot. Now, to convert and to give the benefit of SaaS, we all understand the benefits of SaaS, right? To give them the democratization of a product, which is small company with even just 10 licenses or 10 salespeople, or a company which is about 10,000 salesmen, all are having on the same platform, same competitive advantage using a technology. It's not limited to a certain set, and it is not involving a huge capex. So this required a lot of mindset shift, and I'm very glad to say that this, especially the second generation of entrepreneurs or the professionals in the industry who have been working in the industry for last 20, 30 years, they have really adopted this mindset to a very good extent, and they are demanding a lot now. So these are the initial challenges which we figured it out in this FMCG market. But in the horizontal segment, if you also go, see, when you are going to the manufacturing sector, where you want to, which is a secondary sector. So primary sector being agriculture, secondary, I would say the manufacturing sector, and tertiary sector is all your services sector. Lot of products we have, they are serving the service sector. To crack the manufacturing sector, the SMB, it's a different ball game. In the manufacturing particularly, I'm not talking about trading or services, but the manufacturing is a different ball game. They are usually occupied with a lot of challenges, particularly in Indian context, about supply chain, about the raw material, about the labor issues, if I talk about the F&B industry itself, it is about so many laws are there. And coming from that background, I could understand that. So in order to make this pitch that about the product mindset, it takes a bit of patience. In fact, a lot of patience. Okay, and it takes, but once adopted, the very interesting part about the Indian customer is once adopted, they are quite loyal and they co-build the product with you. They invest with you. And that is something which we really leveraged upon while building FieldAssist. Another thing which is very interesting, I think now this has been identified by a lot of bigwigs also. SaaS particularly is a do-it-yourself market. That's how the hit is, in the Western markets. It is like people are quite very well educated. Their lifestyle is such. They are so much on internet, and they have things which are sorted out by various factors being in their geographies. India has largely been a do-it-for-me market. When I say do-it-for-me market, it's like, okay, teach us, like take us through it. We are focusing on something which is our core competency. We want a, not just a vendor, but a partner who takes us through the journey and how we are solving it, how we are doing it, what has worked for us. I'll come on to the later slides. But this is to be kept in mind for the entrepreneurs a lot. And it requires a patience, no doubt about it. It requires a patience. Now, of course, things are changing. In fact, due to COVID, things have been enforced in a very fast-changing mindset. Okay, so this is becoming that technology adoption is a real thing which has been accelerated in the last 5 months or so. But still, largely it remains like this, because even if you talk about the, particularly in our FMC sector, the kind of users we have, the kind of salespeople we have, they are working, let's say, 8 to 10 hours, and they're the real heroes in the market. They are working about 8 to 10 hours in the market. They are struggling with, the weather also, on the bike, on the foot. They are covering huge expanse of the shops. They are covering about 40, 50 shops in a day. And they're having so much of data to be filled up. It was a manually which we turned into automation, that they have to fill up the stock reports or the daily sales report. They need to do the manual calculations. So it is actually, when you talk to them, then the change management does become an issue over there. But we had to do it, not that, okay, this is the training material, this is the product, this is quite easy to use, come on, let's use it, train the trainer. All those things are something which is getting adopted right now. But in the last 6 years, this is something which has been very critical for us when we call the do-it-for-me market. We'll talk more in the later slides, of course. And when you talk about the referrals and research, this is in India particularly, in our industry, it has worked very well, because it's very it takes a lot of it is quite a peace of mind for the top management people, when they talk about this, that, okay, have you been working in this particular industry, have you been solving this particular problem of that specific industry. This comes as a boost to us, so that's how initially we actually went with a lot of confidence. We just went out for the logos, big logos to be captured in the Indian market, because that's something which gave us a lot of leverage. So I'll tell you, we didn't had any background in the market, okay, in terms of industry knowledge. So since 15 years and 16 years, and my team, my co-founders are also from the college graduates, straight away jumped into the entrepreneurship. Okay, so this piece I could figure it out very well, that the referrals are important. I'm not demeaning the research part, but referrals are very important. So they figure it out. Okay, you're working with similar case studies, and it does help a lot. So this is important, I would say, to have the mixture and the openness of the people, the customers, which if you could knock their doors, and you could get an entry. Now there's so much of in the digital media. So LinkedIn was not so popular, when we started prospecting in 2014-15, and it's been this last 2 years where LinkedIn has really, really picked up. Still a long way to go in I'll say in the Indian fraternity. When you talk about the actual manufacturers being over there, the professionals are there, but a lot of still untapped market. Now here, the referrals does work a lot when we go out and talk about and present our solution that appeals to them. And definitely this, nobody can deny upon this. India is a price sensitive market, but highly value driven. If once the ROI gets established, we did a lot of things in getting this mindset change about ROI calculators, ROI, a lot of demonstrations, multiple demonstrations. The Indian customer is going to be not satisfied with one demonstration of your product. So be ready, that will be a multiple times it will happen. But that's absolutely fine. It's nothing wrong. It's nothing right. That's how it is, and that's how you have to be with your market. Okay. And we really enjoyed it, and because we understand the value it's going to bring to the whole ecosystem, And when I'm talking about especially Make for India thing, so India is. We would love Indian manufacturing to use a lot of advanced tools, and that's how the progress on the whole scenario which is happening about the vocal for local or self-reliance. So we have been talking about this since long, that let's make for India, where there's a huge opportunity which lies, because it's just more also less of, I would say, the calculations to be done. Okay, what is the opportunity size and all? It's more that's what I told about me. From where I come, where I feel that a lot of impact can come from the as a tech entrepreneurs, we have a responsibility, for our Indian companies. Okay. Now, this is where how we started mitigating the challenges. When we talk about the right fitment, it is knowing the user and customer. So there's a difference for us between a user and a customer. Uh, we actually deep dive a lot in understanding the user from the day one. I would have done about more than 100 plus field visits, and just to understand the mindset of the user. So user here, you see that the persona which we was making, that a user could be about a 10,000 to 15,000 rupees guy, who's having a sales job in a consumer goods company. It can of course vary for multinationals, but importantly, the guy which we were looking at, he was not so educated, he was not so tech savvy, he was resistant to change, and adoption was a challenge. We had gone to so many clients where they have actually been using some or the other automation tool, but were not able to take it to the scale or 100% scale. We instilled this part in our company culture, that whoever is coming in the FieldAssist, be it a Android coder, be it a backend developer, be it a sales, market, design, customer service, whosoever comes, we deliberately give them the flavor of the client review meetings and on the field visits. Very important to do, for especially for the customer facing. It's very, very important to do, but also the tech people. It's very important to understand and go in the market, sweat it out, be there for 3-4 hours, understand the psychology of your user for whom you are coding, and the user experience, the UI UX which was made. If you see the FieldAssist, it is a very, very different workflow. It's a very uniform workflow, not multiple tiles, not multiple options. It's very easy that 80% of the work which he needs to do on the application can be done in the fastest possible time. We did time motion calculations. Okay, we did innovations like understanding that guy and making the UIs that see the problem. What comes when a salesman go to the customer, which is for him the customer is the retailer. He goes to the retailer, it's already a crowded place, usually a crowded place, and the timings are fixed. And in a particular span of time, he has to sell, upsell, cross-sell a lot of category of products. In that particular situation, he needs to do this thing, and he always had an habit, of carrying a pen and paper and a diary. And a diary is his, soul in it, because all the data is in that, and he trusts his diary more than anything else. And when we went to the field visits, we could understand that he's not taking the technology in the right fashion, because he feels that diary is irreplaceable. We made a pocket MIS feature for him, okay, which made it for him to trust and have the better date ranges, target versus achievement, scheme calculation, incentive calculation. All those things came handy with him for the application he had in mind. And this actually, like all these kind of user journey which we mapped, and of course the customer part for us, which is the user is a sales guy, the customer of course the company, and the company means middle management, top management. They're the people who were doing the certain things. Top management, they wanted an analytics platform which could easily give them a handy view. And we face some challenges in the market, for example, with the middle management who were always on the field. They had to do the joint working with the sales guys. They have to do the market audits, visits, distributors, profiling, and everything. But with all those things in mind, asking somebody to open up a laptop and see the Excel sheets was not something which were desirable. And so we, came up with the first of its kind of application, which was mobile application, analytics application, made for middle management. That was absolutely a lot of popular application in the middle management fraternity. Okay. Now here, going more deep into it, rather than going with a lot of problem statements. We went with the problem statement which was more occupying the space of the mind of the customer, and keeping in mind the user experience, that his life should not be so much bothered, that he should not be bothered that okay, some tool has come to track him, or something has been given to him in terms of there's a trust issue. It was made that your life is becoming very simple, and these are the 5 things which you need to do it on the application. It takes about 7-8 minutes, and that's it. And you just have to repeat this cycle, and your job is done. You don't have to be in any situation which is awkward with your management. They're asking about your data is not coming on time, your stock reports are not coming on time, and the brand managers are actually not happy with this. Now this actually has the kind of testimonials we have got from our salespeople. They say that their self-esteem, their their presentation in front of the retailers, that brand presence, actually their impression has gone very high, and they may not be having a lot of degrees in hand, but they know that they are a Salesforce automation expert now. Now that impacts them in terms of their purchasing capacity, or for living style. That was the real validation that we are solving something in a pain point. This is another thing which I found in Indian industry, that we actually pay a good, for the painkillers than vitamins. Of course, there can be different segments of the different industry. There can be a debate on it, but primarily when we look at into it, that because you need to have it when you're talking about the bootstrap company, when you're talking about a profitable company, then you need to just figure it out that okay, these are the things that actually will make the client buy it, pay for it, use it, and then you get an entry into it, into that customer mind space, and then you can expand. Yes, this is very important when I talk about the particular segment. So here we had from the day one, we wanted, of course, a journey, but we wanted a very specific problem to be solved for a specific set of clients. I'm in the industry specific. So here the FMCG, who have their sales team in the field, and they are actually focusing on secondary sales. And those are the clients which we started targeting, and we did the segmentation also in terms of their turnovers, in terms of their presence, regional, national. So those clear-cut segmentation actually made us give certain modules to them which are important for them at this journey of their growth. Not everything which is fit to for a large enterprise client is fit for the startup which has just begun its journey. So this kind of positioning and this kind of solutioning actually made us a lot of difference for the FieldAssist acceptance in the market. Okay. And of course, this is one of the favorite lines. So persistence is definitely the key to entrepreneurship, but it applies to the person and not always to the idea. Okay. In fact, when we started this company, Fit2Know Technology got started with the QR code marketing solutions. And then it went on, this pivot was taken in 2013-14 about the FieldAssist problem statement which came up. And since then, there has been a continuous mode of iteration, and but keeping the basics in mind, that it has to solve problem in a very, very simplistic way, in a very, very simple manner. Okay. So if you see the opportunity size which I was talking about, you may not be having the earlier leaders which I talked about, they were national brands. But there are thousands of other brands who are so aggressively moving from regional companies to the national presence, but their products quality is so good, and they have the good consumer base, trusted distributor base for years. All these brands, if you see, and they're all like big brands in terms of their 100 crores, 500 crores, 700 crores. You might not be looking at them in a fashion that, okay, we've not heard of them also, maybe the regional states, if you are belonging to, Multani is a 100-year-old company, Gajanan is a 40-year-old company, Tops is a big name in North and East. Similarly, Kali Mark from South, they have been there for decades, giving a tough competition to the cola brands. Similarly, the biscuit industry, Anmol, Raja. These are the companies actually where you need to figure them out. Where are they? They may not you get it on the LinkedIn. Okay. And it will not be easy way to me when we go for the Indian customer service. You have to be actually more out of office rather than inside office. That's how I feel. The product managers, the business people, and the strategies actually need to be designed with the customer sitting over there. I myself have traveled whole India, and whenever there was an opportunity, like, okay, there's some hint that somebody is somewhere interested, without bothering about the timings, without bothering about the logistic ways, whether it has to be bus, train, aeroplane, whatever, just be at the doorstep of the customer. And that's how, because this lesson I learned. See, if you go into the retailer market, okay, suppose you're a sales guy and you go to a retailer market, retailer shop, you will go over there, you will not get the first time order, because if you are a new brand and you are a new face, of course, you will not get a first time order because he doesn't know you. So that rapport building has not happened. Okay. And similarly, you go for second time, you go third time, you engage with him, you understand, okay, what is he looking for or whatever. The rapport building exercise you do, the salespeople are expert at that. And then he knows that, okay, he's coming back and again and again. That's actually the rule of FMCG, by the way. So you have to have that discipline of being on time and every time with that's how we call it a beat plan, or all of the FMCG customers will be knowing the importance of it, the timing and the peak plan. So it's the same formula does get applied because they're used to all these people they're used to. So same formula does get. I have to go multiple times, multiple times over there. But the part is the stickiness of the customer. Once he knows that, okay, you are actually solving a problem, and not just solving the problem, but you're growing also. That's the case of SaaS. So all the principle of SaaS does apply. Okay, but the way it happens in India, okay, it is, I'll say there has to be a new term which has to be involved. It's some kind of SaaS. It's not a true SaaS which we see with a true model of DIY, as I told. The customer acquisition cost seemingly can be high initially, but the stickiness, and if you're continuously engaging your customers in a lot of activities, the product activities, that this is something is coming. So whether it's about product assortment, whether it is about peat optimization, all these things comes, people are happily adopting it, and they say, okay, we are the right partner. And a lot of credit goes to the customer success team, which has been made very, very value conscious, and how to keep engaged with your clients. That's something we do a lot of regular follow-ups, a lot of insights we get it from them, and this is how we do it. Another part which I wanted to keep, that bootstrapping part. A lot of questions comes to us about the bootstrapping stuff. That how did you do it? How was it possible for you? Okay, how are we practicing bootstrapping? We again, it comes from the lot of fundamentals and basics. Of course, freemium model is definitely a hit when you talk about the DIY, but we did not practice it. We did not practice it because we understood that whatever is given for POC, that's a paid POC, it has a lot of value into it, and we were actually looking forward for the clients to actually invest their time and have the investment, keeping this IT piece, the technology piece, at the top of the agenda, and then take it very, very seriously. Because earlier when we started, we used to give. It's a very common thing, just try it, and then if you like it, please buy it. I would say we refrained from it in early days itself, because I could figure it out that this is not working. Or you do it, if you have to do it, you do it for a very limited period of time, as if you are going live fully and in a live environment. It's not the POC. So we give that kind of seriousness to the POC. So we keep it paid POCs or very limited time POCs, 7 days, 10 days. And we showcase the results. We get their people live usage within a day. For about 85% of usage comes within a day of going live. There's a lot of work which goes at the back end in terms of this data sanitization, their operate data sanitization, and their hierarchy sanitization, the SKU sanitization, matching it up with the ERPs and the SKU codes. A lot of work which goes behind. But we make sure that it is a real experience, as if the person, the client, has actually invested into the things. Okay, so this is how it is. And yes, as I said from the very beginning, the positive unit economics, we always believed in that your GP has to be there. even if you're the cash flow positive. More importantly, it was again the cash flow positive and the positive unit economics. Early, there could be an issues in positive unit economics because you're not reached the threshold limit. But cash flow positive, we always kept in mind that okay, this is important. This is very, very important to build up. And since last 3 years now, it's a very good journey for us because we have achieved the optimum level and break even. And very interesting thing which we did from the day one, keeping in mind, because we are a problem solver technology company, that automation of the internal processes. Now, how do you keep the, it can't be linear, the more the number of customers and more the number of sales team or the customer success team you have. But internally, this was again given a very good peace of mind that your automation, your onboarding, we have internal customized CRMs developed specially for our workflows. We do use other tools, but in combination with that, we developed our own platform. That was very interesting. And now the training platform, what we are doing is again getting completely in an automated way, which we are proceeding at, because this automation keeps a real check on your, expenses not getting bloated, and you're not bleeding. And this is something very, very, we take it very seriously. And moving ahead, it's like when you're building a transformative technology product, again, I'll say that it's applicable everywhere. You have to just be with your customer. We are so grateful to our customers, the brands. We remember even the brands like Mahindra came to our office, and our office was itself a 15 feet by 15 feet. And in that, we had a conference room, which was about 6 feet by 6 feet. And the whole team, came from Mumbai. They wanted to check out who are these people who are going to build this amazing product for the automotive industry. That was way back 3-4 years back. Still a partner, a very good partner with us. And then they wanted to check it out. Okay, what is that they are doing? And they landed and they came to our office, spent half a day, and it was brilliant. Without any other credentials that we having this many years of experience or this many big team. Already a team of what? 12-13 people. Now we are 100 people team. Okay, but the trust which this we were able to evoke, but that was basically was let's go build. Okay, let's go build. What agility we can give to you, the turnaround times we can give to you, and not just over that we were not operating from a service mindset, we were operating from the product mindset. We actually had people in our board, people who are from the FMCG industry, the consumer good industry, and were able to do a lot of networking to figure it out. Okay, what's more important, and how do we build product, and how do we infuse? We call it, of course, it's R&D now. R&D is something which is critical, but that was with everybody. Each one of us were doing R&D in ourselves, testing, R&D, field visits, talking to the consumer, talking to the user, talking to the MDs, talking to the middle management. Everywhere we were so involved in the testing of the product and seeing the UI user by ourselves, being in the market, spending time and doing the, even this minutest things like when you go in the market, of course, the people who are in the field, they are under the sun. And how do you optimize the battery level of them so that on their screen, they should have something, a minimum glare, and they need to have a minimum backlight, so that battery does not get drained. And they have to be there in the market for 6 hours, 7 hours, and their application is their lifeline. So taking care of the minutest thing, and the way you are interacting, the way, for example, another example would be a story that, the middle management, they are used to see the Excel sheets. Now, if you see our product, which is a middle management analytics application, that product, if you see, it's less of charts, which usually a business intelligence tool is. We figure it out that they are not so attractive the charts, but the numbers which have to come, those numbers should be very, very highly visible, and they should be specific, and they should be able to drill it down. The application gives them so much of power of data in their hands. For example, if I'm a particular salesman, I've just been into a particular retail store, and after 5 minutes, of interaction, that person doesn't buy from me anything because of stock outs or because of some supply issue or some margin issue. My manager, who could be anywhere in the world, he would know that I have visited this particular Ramesh stores, and this Ramesh stores actually did not buy from us because of certain issue. Now, this particular boss or the manager can actually straight away call from that application to the owner of the retail owner shop that, 5 minutes back my person came to you. What can I do for you? Like, is there something you didn't buy it? How can I do? So this technology actually bringing the real application, the trust building which is happening between the middle manager and who is actually the leader of his territory. See, middle manager has a lot of power and authority of it. He's responsible for the P&L of that particular territory. The kind of relationship he can build, with that particular retailer, that speaks a lot about the loyalty which is gained by the particular retailer. Because I'm being respected, and I'm being concerned that I did not buy, the call has come from there. That, and thousands of such stories are there with our customer success team and with our team available inside. And the thing which our customers or the Indian industry really feels about, and it's globally also, of course, it's globally, that the customer experience which is given, the kind of hand-holding which is given, the kind of training it is given, the customer support models, how do we innovate it so that we have a very specific turnaround times. Like within a minute, you got to be in the L1 support, and then within hour you have to be in the L2 support. And as I said, the designing of the software which can record the calls and analyze the SLAs and analyze the issues which have come up and respond as fast as possible. Okay, and it's not about just talking, keeping in mind what kind of money this customer is giving. It's all about today is the situation. Ultimately, it's going to be he's going to be the winner, so I'm going to be the winner. So FieldAssist helps these companies to win in their market share, and that's where they are the real heroes. We are just the tools to enable their growth. Keeping all those things in mind, now this is something which really has really kept on FieldAssist on a very high growth track and winning in the Indian market. We have conducted more than 2,000 trainings. Each training could be about 20 to 50 people batches. The whole training is done by specially trained FMCG people who comes from that background, and they have been into this. The practices what we have inculcated, it is about the next practices. It was not just about the best practices. The whole the way the trainings are conducted, they're like a mock trainings. The live application is given to them. The method of, in the first half you are trained theoretically, and the second half of the day you are actually gone out in the market practically doing some 10 shops. How's the experience, any lag, any issues, then coming out and the quizzes at the back once you are back, and the next day you are so confident, you have made that person so confident that he's not afraid. And somebody who's there in the longer run, who's quite aged and not so used to technology, that person we also take care of, giving a lot of hand holding. The middle management especially is given a separate training so that the kind of issues they're going to get it, and especially the mindset and the change management issues, and how the top management will warn them that how you have to be prepared for certain layoffs which will going to happen, because certain people will not be, those 5-7% will not be suitable for this situation, because now that's very transparent. But let's reward the another 90% or 95% of their people. They would be really happy. And so there are certain kinds of fears, insecurities, and we have to get them to the case studies or giving them the POC experience, and making them even we openly ask our clients not to just take us on our sales presentation value. Let's go out in any territory in India, and within a non-competitive brand, we will help you to experience a real user using our application for the last 1 year or 2 years and going into the market, and how is he going about it and we leave them free. Okay, we leave them free. Okay, go and check it out for yourself. What has been your experience? And we are very open about, because ultimately we know that even if the client is not right now coming to us, there is something which is there for us to learn. And this continuous learning is a very, very beautiful experience, because it is actually fearless. Okay, either we are gaining something as a client, or we are gaining something as a knowledge. But we are not afraid of taking such kind of experiences to our customers. and so that they are very, very confident. So the brands which have been with us, they had a lot of options, and meticulously they had they have examined the possibilities of choosing a brand which is for India. We are not having as I said, that big wigs or the kind of technology. We are all startup people, young champ, or average age of a FieldAssist guy would be around 25, 26. Okay. And this is really keeping our journey very interesting and very happy. And coming on to the end of my session would be, it cannot end without talking about our people, our culture, because whatever has happened, it's happened because of these people. And I cannot as cannot mention this about the culture what we have built in our company. So if you could see that when you're talking about being on, we say a lot of time no to our clients. Okay, we say a lot of time that okay, it's not working. Rather than we'll break up after 6 months because this product is not fitting to your workflow right now. We have actually said no to very big deals. Okay, just because we wanted to have an integrity factor inside, and that actually builds a lot of trust. And ultimately, after even if not that case, but some other case or some other case, and there have been cases like recently we acquired a very renowned soap brand in the country. It took us about 1.5 years to crack the deal. 1.5 years. It's not a simple thing. Okay, because they tried something else. They were using something else. But we keep on educating. We in fact educate some of our competitors who are using being with the clients. We actually educate them. Okay, this can be done. This can be done. Or you must look for this kind of reports and this kind of KRAs, which you should go about it and ask for it, because you are in a different stage of the growth. So, but once you come into that stage, you should be ready with your technology partner. That then you are not looking here and there. Okay. So all these things I talked about, the automation, which is internal processes, and this is something I cannot emphasize more on that. It's like the very, very critical factor for us. And our trajectory, if you see that 2014 we started, we had two clients who trusted us with their problems, and we were able to solve it. They are still with us. Okay, it's been 6 years, and a lot of our clients, as I said, the retention rate has been very high. 2015 about was the stabilizing part. Okay, we got more traction. We get deep dive into the particular industry. We started with a lot of industries, and then we deep dive into the consumer goods, and particularly the consumer product companies, the FMCG and related sectors. And we even asked some of our clients that okay, we are moving out from your industry. Tell us what it will take for you to have a very smooth transition, but we are moving out because we will not be able to give you after 6 months. We'll not be able to serve you in a way that you would desire us to be. So rather than be very, very transparent. And so 2017 onwards, the real acceleration came up, and the product name got established in the market. And today, with the close to 400 brands we are working with in India, and right now, what we are looking at, especially in the COVID era, the fantastic things have been done. We have come up with the new applications for the retailer platform, for the people inside. The KRS actually have changed in the industry. So it's more about not the push sales right now with the brands pushing the sales to their retailers. It's all about, making more of a relationship and just being disciplined and more concerned. When there was a complete lockdown, we came up with a module which was about the telephonic call and became a huge hit. In spite of people being sitting at home, there were about 30,000 salespeople who were using our application just to make sure that they are in contact with the retailers. Is there an issue? Are you open? What kind of essential good do you need? So many of our clients we got actually onboarded in the COVID era. We closed some of the big deals in April and May because of certain things which were, word of mouth percolated in the market that this application is actually happening. And a lot of people who were not actually into automation before, they realized the importance of automation. And that's how 2020 is all about the innovation, what we are doing along with the major market share capturing. Okay, so this is how our system has been, that from a very functional oriented product, which is about the field force productivity. then going into analytics, and then going into the bigger suite of products. Okay, the distribution management system, the analytics and platform like that, distribution lifecycle management, all those things created the acceleration. And today, when we are talking about, this stands truly good, and I truly abide by Professor Prahlad. If you have heard of him, the bottom of the pyramid champion. Now, he said that if you could figure it out what Indian consumer is, looking for and be in his shoes, the Indian consumer can, really surprise. It is a tough market. It's not an easy to figure out market, but the kind of the companies, the sheer number of the companies you have, even if you're having a small, pie of it, you are actually making it big, and the price can be very substantial. So FieldAssist is a category leader in the situation right now, but there's a lot to be done. Lot to be done. We are not. It's just a humble beginning what we are having. So right now it's all about shaping the future together, the clients. And I would rest right now here with the passion we have for the problems. I would just leave it with a thought for a lot of entrepreneurs here. Let's solve for India. There are the problems which are huge in nature, and can be solved in a very Indian way of fashion that you can do it. Plenty of companies are doing it in their own way. It's not about just solving the customer problem. It's also the solving an employability problem of the country, of the youth. People are creating the universities in-house, and they are doing a fantastic job from the tier 2 and tier 3. They are operating the connectivity. The world is looking at India with 5G announcements being made, and investments of billions of dollars. We have seen the consumer mindset changing with a lot of payment automation, Paytm, Bharat Pay. It's a very interesting era, and we are thoroughly enjoying this. We all 100 people are thoroughly enjoying this journey. With every day, with some challenge, it comes. But it is truly remarkable. I will just stop over here, okay, and will be glad to take up questions, and I could help you out more in any way. I'll be available. Yeah. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. And Ankita, over to you. Yeah.
Thanks, Param, for this great presentation and walking us through your journey and your organization. That's really very great.
Thank you.
So we have just 4 minutes left now to end the session. So first of all, the unanswered questions, what I request is the audience, you can always reach out to Param through LinkedIn, and probably he might be able to take a few questions, and one or two questions. Let's take it
Sure.
in a span of 4 minutes. So there's one question by Nayan. He's saying, "Hey Param, congratulations on your success with FieldAssist. I'm very interested to know, how did you acquire your first customer?"
Sorry, how did you
acquire your first customer?
Okay, the very first customer, I think we actually went on to acquire another customer, but it was in the hosiery segment, and the connect was made through one of our mentors. And what happened that customer did not got onboarded. Once we were there in his waiting room, there were about 10 distributors, from the market, and we started interacting with one of them. Okay. And that's how that guy said that, okay, I'm interested as a small time distributor, and this is one company, which is India's largest socks manufacturing company at that time. He said, go and meet that Mr. Jan over there, and then take it up. Otherwise, the way we were acquiring the customer, it was purely, I'll say, the door knocking, the cold calls. That time I used to get the data through a lot of, Just Dial was also not so prevalent. There used to be hardcore finding the leads on the net and making hundreds of calls in a day. And it was a lot of legwork which was involved. And the breakthrough which came wasn't actually after 1 year, which was in 2015, when we got some really big brands, 1,000 crore plus brands in our kitty, and that's how we kicked it off. And it took a lot of patience and persistence, and with perseverance actually gives you a lot of perspectives. And we were actually knocking the doors here and there, like every day. Me and my co-founder, we were actually very, very on the field. More than the office, we were always on the field. And many stories are like that there.
Wow, Param. Truly said patience is the key. So the next question is by Taran. He's saying, can you share some mental models regarding SaaS pricing for Indian SMB?
Yeah, sure. So what I could say, what has worked for us, it's basically it's a per user license. Of course, it's a SaaS model. It's a per user license, but we could actually price it in a different categories. For example, somebody who is just a beginner in the industry, so there could be some package for that with the less number of modules. That's what we followed, like generally how the SaaS pricing happens on any other portal if you go. So there's an enterprise model, we have an advantage model, we have pro model, we have basic model. That's how we are pricing the SaaS. But most of it, I could see that they all want, aggressive pricing, but a lot of features into it. They don't want to compromise on features. Okay. And
let's quickly take another question. So it's already 3:30. Just 1 minute, if you could just answer one more question. Samir has a question. Did you had any problems of cash flow and getting investment? How do you tackle it?
Yes, cash flows. See, one thing is internal cash flow management. Initially, 2-3 years we had to manage in a way that we were always keeping our people, the team first. The salaries of the co-founders always used to be very much delayed. But from the customer point of view, we made it a model that initially there were challenges. Absolutely, there were challenges, but we were quite stringent about it. And this is very important. I would say for the entrepreneurs to be, you make less money, but you take it more in advance or in a model which is like timely paid. Actually, customer respects that also. If you are, good in your offerings, the customer will not. Usually, the customer will not default. But you have to keep your strings tight. And also going frugal because, as I said, we were not traveling on aeroplane. You flight in the first 3 years. We were not traveling at all. We were not taking cabs in the first 4 years. We were all using metros. We were all using railways to reach to our clients. But that was the internal part of it. But externally, I would definitely say if there's a value in the product and your client is happy, they're happy to pay. But you have to ask for it. Okay. Do not assume that it will come automatically, and there's no harm in asking. It's just that you bring it out on the top of their minds. And, okay, hey, this way we have to go about it.
Thank you so much, Param, for your time and efforts in sharing.
I could see a lot of questions. I'm sorry that the journey took more lot of time, but I would love to have all these questions being answered. I'm not sure the format is about now 1 hour over. I could give my email ID, which is
sure. Please go ahead.
This is my email ID. Param@FieldAssist. Please do reach out to me, and you can reach out to me on the LinkedIn as well. Okay, I'll be really happy to answer and engage in some interesting conversation with you. That's my job is. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much, Param, for your time and effort. And for everyone, all the audience, I'll meet all of you on 4th of September with an interesting episode, not just about by one speaker. We will be having an episode totally focusing on what we are doing as in the umbrella of product skill development. Herein, we will have folks from the NASSCOM leadership as well as the volunteers who are working and helping and contributing with us. So that will be a very great session, and more details will be published by coming Friday on nasscom.in/events. Thank you, everyone. Especially thank you, Param, for your time and effort. This was a great all really enjoyed.
Thank you, everyone. We'll be happy to take questions. Please do write to me, and I'll be happy to engage. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, all of you. Stay safe.